All right. Great to be back here and able to get on the practice field with some of our young guys, and they looked good yesterday. It's a good group. I think Brett and his gang have done a great job of bringing in some real good football players, and whether they were drafted or free agents, looks like a good crew. Just real quick, with B.J. Thompson, I think you saw where we waived him to NFI and designation there. So he is making progress, but just not quite there yet. But he's made great strides. And so in this day and age, the way football is, we had to do something there, and this is the route that we went. But it doesn't mean his career is over by any means. Just where we're at today. Other than that, time's yours.
Coach, what's the most important thing some of these guys, like the draft picks, have to do for you this week? What do they have to show you?
Sure. Literally that. There's only, maybe 16 of them that, whether it's the 7 draft picks and 10 or so others that have been signed as free agents, college free agents. So the rest of the guys are just invites to this camp and as free agents, and that's a challenge for them to catch our eye. But they're going about it the right way, and it's literally that. I mean, how are you gonna make the catch? Or are you gonna make the throw? Or are you gonna make the coverage adjustment that you need to make on the back end and defensive line? How you're it's all pass, so do you have rush ability in that? And linebackers, same way, coverage and kind of an understanding. Are you grasping the defensive part that we're asking? So anyways, all of that is part of it. And that's what we look at. Yeah.
Coach, I was wondering your initial impressions of Jalen Royals and maybe how he can, I know it's a long way, but how maybe
Yeah, you can see his talent for sure. And he did a couple good things yesterday. We'll just see how he does today. We load him up again today. And they actually have a walkthrough, so it's very much like training camp. They have a walkthrough, and then they have the practice in the afternoon. So sometimes the second day can be a nice challenge for them with the overload part of it. So.
With Josh Simmons, what's kind of the first impressions of him now that you've got him on the field, and is he where you expected physically?
Yeah, so Josh is doing mostly the individual work. We try to keep him out of the team stuff if we're going against a defense. So just taking it slow here. We're just kind of getting a feel where he's at with this. So he had a kind of a heavy travel schedule during the 30 visit thing. So just make sure that thing's strong and going. But he looks like he's got some talent there, Matt. Doggone it. That's a good thing, right? So for what we can do, that's a plus.
Andy, his injury aside, how will you, and I realize this is a months-long process of evaluation before the season starts, but how will you just evaluate his preparedness to play?
Yeah, it looks like he's moving around good. He's right on that kind of that where he just needs a little bit more time, but he's moving around well. I was surprised on how well he was doing out there moving. Yeah, he looks like he's comfortable with it. So.
Andy, Rashard Smith, have you had a guy in recent years who has that kind of skill set, who had that kind of skill set? Anybody he reminds you of in that regard?
I probably haven't seen enough of him there. I know he looks like some of the backs have that low center of gravity that can kind of move and at a lower, where they can drop their weight a little bit. It looks like he has that. Now nobody's hit him either, so it's be a little different story there, but it looks like he has good hands.
Jarek McKinnon, is that, you see any of that at all?
A little different run style than Jarek. Yeah, a little different run style. Jarek was a little more upright. I'm not sure who I'd compare it to, but I know he looks like he has talent and he can catch the football. So.
Andy, with it being a non-contact practice, when you got 3 drafted guys and that are linemen, how do you try to assess them through these practices? Are you looking for their study habits or anything? What do you see as a coach?
Yeah, you get a little idea on pass rush for the 2 defensive guys, and again, we're keeping the other kid out of the Simmons out of the contact part of it, so, or out of the team stuff. But the defensive linemen look like they have high motors, and they've got good quickness. It looks like good lower body core strength, which is pretty important for getting banged around in there, you know.
Coach, I've been asking the rookies how they chose their numbers and what they mean to them. You wore 64, is that right?
I did.
BYU? How did you end up with 64? What did it mean to you?
Yeah, so that was one of the numbers that was available. Jerry Kramer wore it, so I snuck it. I had read instant replay, I think, by that time.
All right,
I
thanks.
was always a fan of his. So-
They should retire 64, or some kids still wearing them?
No, they're still wearing it.
All right, guys.